Hey, what's up everyone? Oops. So used to the TTS in main chat. Lol. Am good, thanks. There's a few others that's coming in soon. Hopefully. Right now we chill. Alrighty. What's up, Miss T? I'm doing alright. see ya later, Lara.
Hey, what up, Tron? I'm just feeding my turtle real quick. Then I gotta finish my lunch, but I figured we'd have them drop in. And that's Squirtle, and that's my homegirl, Puffy. Hey, Puffy. So I'm gonna give you some of the good stuff. That's the good stuff right there. That's the stuff that apparently zoos give this shit to the turtles. And these guys, they get all like, jumpy, they beg, they try to climb up. It's really hard to hold the phone while trying to open the Ziploc bag. Oh, there we go. All right. Yeah, rotate. It's a little messy up here, like I got like, in fact, wait, does the camera get bigger? Yeah, no, not really. Okay, it's a little tricky that sucks. It's in portrait mode still. Yeah. I wish I had the camera in widescreen mode right now. Oh well.
No problem.
So anyway, we're just gonna drop in some pellets right here, and then what usually happens is the food flows behind the turtle, and then they take a minute to realize it. This time, Poppy was really smart on the uptake, but usually what happens is they'll keep begging for food while the food is floating right behind them, and then when they smell it, they'll turn around, but like takes a minute. Now, I'm feeding them out really late today, but I was off from work last 3 days. I was working last 3 days, so I gotta, give them something. There we go, and then that's Squirrely's here, a little munching away. Squirrel's a little larger than her sister Puffy. They were adopted like a year apart. She got like a little cleft in her shell. From what I understand, she was bought in Chinatown when she was the size of a quarter. She could have been sold as food, but instead someone bought her as a pet. Yeah, she's about not quite the size of a dinner plate, but close to it. Like, front to back of the, head and shell, yeah, dinner plate size, but, obviously they're, longer than they are wide. I still don't even know if this is a girl, because usually the tail on a male will be a little bit wider, because that's where they hide their equipment. But on a female turtle, either they have shorter claws, they tend to be bigger than males. So most likely she's a female because her claws are not long. But in her early years, she had kind of sketchy conditions, not the proper light bulb, so to speak. Light bulbs are really important. You got a self-ballasted mercury vapor lamp right there. That's supposed to provide heat and UV light. And if you don't provide both, that can impact them. Now, if you look at the top of my tank, you'll see I have all this crap up here. And I also have a poster of the USS Enterprise over here. It's really cool, actually. I love this poster. Yeah, look at how cool. It is a cool-ass poster right here. You got Picard in the corner. He's all like, I'm happy. You got a warp core diagram. They even got some dilithium crystal diagram over here. You got your dilithium chamber. You got a logarithmic scale showing the warp factors and the amount of energy required to go to warp whatever. And this is actually a reason why you can't do warp 10. Clearly that shows that requires way too much energy. And you got a nice little cutaway. You can see some of the support, the superstructure, whatever it's called. the big cylindrical thing there, whatever that is. You got the scale size. I think that's the scale to scale the size of the original Enterprise next to the star drive. And you got the the clamps when they're doing the whole separation thing. And you got the sword collector, some magnetic field action. But anyway, yeah. So I put this thing on top of the tank because Poppy had a tendency of trying to climb out. So I had to put like these things on the side. You can even see now she looks like she's trying to get out. Or something. I don't know what she's doing. Poppy has more festive ears. You can see she's got orange ears, or it's a red ear slider, but I think it looks more orange than red. And so yeah, she has very festive ears. She's too much more food. I didn't feed her enough, did I? And so yeah, we put this vertical barrier up here because literally Poppy will try to climb the wall. Climb this and jump over. And I've seen it happen before, like on camera. But the reason I have to separate them is because Squirtle was biting Poppy. Like you can see Poppy's tail right there sticking out the back. Poppy was being bitten in the tail by Squirtle. So I remember during feeding time, Poppy would run away scared. And then I found out it was because Squirtle was biting her. So even though they get along like 9 out of 10 times, I can't take the risk of coming home to a massacre, after work. So I had to like separate them. And I mean, they still kind of hang out. Like you can see, they could talk to each other through the wall. Like when you visit family at prison. I mean, I've never visited family at prison, but no, you know what I mean? Like in the movies when someone visits family in prison and they, look through the window. So they could do that. There's like a little hole in the gate somewhere where they could put their paw through if they wanted to. Maybe test the water, see if they get bitten. So, they get the bond, but I had to do it. Now, what's funny is that Squirtle doesn't have a fence on her side of the tank. Like Poppy has this thing over here. Because she doesn't usually climb out. But I have a piece of a table here, this slab. Because that seems to be the area where if she's going to escape, that's where she does it. So I probably should put like a little grill on the front here. But it's all good. Should I give any more food to these guys before I go off camera? Ooh, you're trying to bite through the wall. What are you doing there? What are you doing? Dude, you're gonna hurt yourself. Chill out. Here, I'll give you a little more food just to get you on TV. Okay? I'll pay you like a child actor. You get food, I'll keep the money. Get it? Because, child actors have those parents who take the money and then run. No! Oh my god, there's an Xbox game in this tank. That's okay. It's just Soul Calibur for 360, I think. I don't really play that shit anyway. I don't even know what it's about. I'll just bootleg the disc if it broke. I don't even know if this is a demo disc or what. I think it's a demo disc. What's slimy now, let me tell you. Turtle water get a little slimy sometimes. Gotta put this down over here.
Turtle escapist lol.
Seriously, yo, they are like little escape artists. And I mean, it really takes some, like, I think it takes a good level of escape artistry for one of these guys to escape. Because, I mean, the shape of their body, I mean, they got short little arms and a rigid shell. And it's like many people will underestimate, understandably so, their ability to climb. And, when you see it, you're like, oh, wow. And sometimes you don't even know how they got out. And it's nice to have a camera on them. That's why I put a camera on them a while ago, just to see how did they get out, But they could do pretty good. Like, even people would argue that this isn't even the best setup because they can climb this stuff. And if they're not wrong, that's why I put this vertical barrier here. And what's even crazier still is, despite the poor lighting here, we have basically the wall down the middle and a T-shaped top. But you'll see that, like, I started with a simple metal grid, and that worked for a while. But then somehow one of these guys would go around the corner here and walk on top. So I was like, I don't know how you got up there. Like one day I'm coming downstairs, I see one of them standing up there. I'm like, I don't know how you got up here, but we'll have to figure something out. And then at some point, I added this baby gate, which I originally was going to use to keep them from falling down the stairs when I let them walk around, but it was more useful here. Then I had to take my laptop monitor stand or whatever you want to call it, and I gotta put something else here. But this has helped a little bit. And then you can see some lighting diffuser, egg crate they call it, which I don't know why they call it egg crate, but yeah, this stuff here. And mainly this is what comprises the majority of the bottom half of the wall. You can see that white, grid of there. And this material is very popular in turtle tanks for building all kinds of like accessories, like the basking platform. You can see Poppy's basking platform right there. A lot of the ones that you buy in the store are not big enough when they grow, including this one. This one here, I had to modify the bottom of it to support her weight because this is supposed to float. But there's no way in hell this is going to float under the weight of my turtle. Squirtle, on the other hand, just has like a slab of egg crate. So very simple, but it supports her weight, and it leans on the tank, so it's fine. In fact, I put like a little rope here, a string, nylon, to pull it up too because it needed more support. But people will build like large rectangular structures out of this stuff here. And the turtles can grab it so they can climb up, so they can make a ramp. And in fact, I might have to put a ramp because you see the ramp is on the end of the tank there. That ramp is supposed to be here. You don't really need it, but if I was to put a ramp there or bolt it on, I might want something more like this because they could definitely get up better. What, Poppy? What? She's flashing. I didn't feed you enough. It's kind of late, Can I touch your paw? Can I touch your paw? You want to bite my finger? Daddy loves you. Oh, you trust me. She trusts me. Oh, good girl. That's very rare. Usually they don't like being touched. They get very suspicious. Like they think you're gonna pick them up and walk around with them and do stuff, which they hate. I mean, they like a little bit of attention, but let's be real. If you were like a turtle just kind of hanging out in your tank, would you appreciate it if a giant walked up to the side of your tank and picked you up? Yeah, that might be a little, annoying. So, that's Puffy and Squirtle. This is their 150-gallon Rubbermaid stock tank. This is their filter, which I can clean the top off of, but that is a very powerful filter. It's the size of bigger than a 5-gallon bucket, has a built-in pump, and I'm glad that's like the ultimate filter when it comes to canister filters. The only filter you can do better with is if you build your own, but the problem with a DIY filter is some of the designs are such that there's a high risk of flooding if there's a power outage. Like literally the water will just keep flowing out of the tank into a bucket until it overflows. So I really like these self-contained canister filters because of their simplicity, but there are limitations. And usually when you buy a filter, if you ever get a turtle, you want to get a filter that's rated triple. So if you got like 100 gallons of water, you want to get a filter that can handle 300 gallons because turtles, they put out a little bit more waste than fish. But the waste that comes out of a turtle, a lot of it isn't really that toxic. It basically contains like beneficial bacteria. So their gut bacteria actually helps to keep the water clean. And if you ever clean a turtle tank, you put too much clean water in the tank in one shot, 2 days later, it'll get really dirty because they need actual microbes in the water to, manage that, that biome, to manage that, whatever you call it, just bring biological balance. If that's how it works in nature, if that's how it works in a pond. I mean, in nature, you got like different factors, but on a basic level, the turtle poop will seed beneficial bacteria, beneficial microbes into the water that will consume ammonia. So when they take a piss, when they pee, the pee contains ammonia. The microbes in their biome or that comes out of their body will eat the ammonia and turn it into less harmful stuff. And then that's stuff that I could trap with the filter or manage by doing periodic water changes. But it cuts down on the toxicity. Whereas if you have fresh water, you'll find the water gets really dirty, and then usually it'll balance itself out. But if you ever do a water change, a lot of people who get turtles or who give away their turtles because they don't want to take care of them anymore, they do it because they can never get the water to be clean. It's usually because they're trying too hard. Like it's like you gotta start with clean water, expect it to get really dirty, give it a few days, maybe do partial water changes so you can take out maybe 15-20% of the water and put new water in there. But the problem is that if, let's say, 4 days later, 5 days later, the tank is still dirty, the person will do a full water change. They won't do a half water change. They won't do a quarter. They'll do like the whole entire tank. And then they'll wonder why the water keeps getting dirty. And it's because of that. And then beyond that, having a proper filter means not so much keeping the water clean. You'll see I have some film on the surface of the water, which I do manage sometimes, but it's not as important as keeping the water from smelling, because that's way more challenging. Like when you buy a brand new filter, it'll come with what they call polishing pads, and basically it'll remove all of the dust. It'll make the water look crystal clear. And the problem is that they get clogged up too quickly and it slows down the filter. You're better off with literally having ceramic donuts in the filter, because that allows good bacteria to live. But anyway, enough on turtle water ecology here. Tron, I appreciate having this brief platform. I hope that you guys enjoyed meeting the turtles. If you have any questions or anything like that, let me know now before I go off camera in a moment. Will Wheaton. David Glenn mentioned Will Wheaton. Yeah, no, it's funny. I was thinking about Will Wheaton. I was thinking about Webster. Yeah. My pleasure.
Awesome.
There we go. Now she's like a little submarine submerging to the bottom. Now, how's your stepsister? She's just kind of pensive, looking at the sky. Oh, you think you're gonna get me to give you more food, huh? Yeah, just like the time you went on hunger strike. Yeah, she went on hunger strike for like a week or two because I gave her really good shrimp. And when I went back to normal food, she refused to eat. So I thought she was sick. I got really worried. Then someone told me that it was probably because I was giving her the good stuff. She didn't want the bad stuff anymore. So I had to trick her into eating her normal food, because she was refusing to eat her normal food so that I would pony up the good stuff. And the good stuff is, it's got some good nutrition, but it's really fattening. And, a fat turtle is not really, good when you have a shell. Exactly on the sideline, it. And she's getting all like, she's trying to get all vertical right now. Sometimes it's kind of funny. They'll get stuck between a wall and a hard place, and they'll try to squeeze through, even though they could just go around it. It's really fun watching them do stupid things sometimes. Oh, there we go. We got to see her go onto a bathroom platform, I think. Is she going to go up? Maybe not. But last thing I would add about turtles is they go on a bathroom platform. So aquatic turtles, freshwater turtles, they need a place to get out of the water, whether they're climbing onto a log in nature or onto a plastic platform. They need a place where their body can get completely dry. And that's because they're going to use the heat from the sun or the artificial lighting to warm up their body. And they need to be warm in order to digest their food. So, they need to be warm. Whether they, warm up before or after eating, they need to warm up. And then the other thing is that by getting dry, it prevents fungus. and all these other issues. So basically, the show, they need an opportunity. They don't necessarily need to go on a basking dock every day, but they need to have the ability to get completely dry so that they can prevent, fungus and mold and, rot. And that's basically a key that, a lot of people may not be aware of when they get a turtle. They may think that, they're just like fish. But yeah, they definitely need the ability to get out of water. They definitely need like a good balance of UV light and heat because that helps them do, with the vitamin D. And sometimes if you have like a turtle and their shell gets soft, that's a big red flag that you were not giving them good lighting, especially when they're young. So yeah, with that being said, I'm gonna go finish my lunch right now. If you're still on after I finish it, I'll jump on my real camera. And let's see, any questions? No questions. Okay, cool. Thank you very much, Mr. Tron. But I'm going to be on audio for now. So, if you have anything to say, ask me, talk, whatever, I'm here. Boom. Oh, and I'll show you my server real quick while I'm on my way up. Hey, where's my camera? You can hear the noise of the server. Give me 1 second. I'm going to put the button on. Oh, there it is. There we go. Okay, so this is my HP rack-mounted server
Well,
right here.
hopefully there's a few other people that's going to join us.
Word, yeah. I mean, I should drop a link. I meant to do that as I was eating, but then I saw that you were already on, so I opted to jump on. But yeah, I'm checking that on it in a second. So yeah, bottom line, we got like 10 operational hard drives. We got 2 non-operational hard drives, but I got to add 2 16 terabyte drives to the pool. Right now, I have accumulated 40 terabytes of storage capacity, all of it redundant. So right now, this is a 16, and we have a second 16 terabyte drive in this bay here. So the idea is that when I add this 16 terabyte drive to the group, it's going to be added alongside its counterpart. And so whenever I add a new data, if one of these drives break, the one that's not broken will still contain all the data. And so whenever a drive breaks, you just got to take the bad one out, put a good one in its place, and it'll essentially rebuild what they call rebuild the mirror. So that's what we're doing there. And that's the noise in the background here. So yeah, anyway, I'm going to go finish eating. If my tortoise comes out of the enclosure, I'll show you my tortoise, but I'm sure he's hiding in his hut. Yeah, my boy Londo is hiding in his hut. You can even see right here. Yeah, that's a RAID setup, Dave. That's ZFS on Linux, or ZFS Fuse they used to call it, I think. But basically, yeah, there he is. That's Londo Malari, ambassador of the Centauri Republic, or Centauri Empire, depending on who you ask. But yeah, that's a ZFS on Linux, basically. I'm running a Debian distro. What am I running? I'm running Ubuntu 20, I think, or am I on 18 still? Might be on Ubuntu 18 still. But anyway, I gotta do a lot of updating there. But yeah, so that's basically we have what we call mirrored VDEV. So you can do RAID. RAID 1 is when you have mirrored sets, right? You got 2 identical drives in one, and that come up as one drive letter. You got RAID 0 where you have like stripes, where it increases the performance of the machine. And then what was it? They have, like, for example, RAID 5. RAID 5, it sounds really cool, but there are some risks. But RAID 5 is you have, let's say, a minimum of 3 drives. And if any one of the drives break, you just replace that broken drive. And using mathematics,
What's it mean?
I think. But, essentially, when you have 3 drives set up in RAID 5, the 3rd drive can break, and then you can put a new drive in its place. It uses the magic of mathematics to rebuild the missing data. In theory, it's a really cool way to go, and they do that. They do have that in ZFS. I think it's like called RAID Z1 or Z2, Z3 stripe. But I stick with mirrored VDEV. So the way I'm doing it right now with ZFS is I have, it's similar to RAID 1 with the mirrored sets, except that I'm also combining multiple mirrors together. So, for every mirror, if I want to add 8 terabytes, I put 2 8 terabyte drives in there, and I have 8 more terabytes of usable capacity. But now I have another mirror in there with 8 terabytes. So that means that now, because of the 4 8 terabyte drives, I have a total of 16, but essentially every time I want to add another amount of data, I have to just put 2 drives in there of the same size. and they become part of one big volume. So it's very, it looks like a RAID, to a lot of people, it would look like RAID 5, but it's not. It's really more like a combination of RAID 1 and I wouldn't exactly say like RAID 0, but it's similar in that, you know, you can combine the volume together. But the key is that it's got simplicity and fault tolerance, because, you know, some of the more complex methods are supposed to be fault tolerant, but I think the more complex something becomes, the higher the risks become that, you know, something doesn't go according to plan. And this is on a, like I said, Ubuntu 18.04 distro, which is a Debian-based Linux distribution. And Debian is cool because, in my opinion, hey, did I just mute my audio for like 2 minutes? I hope I wasn't speaking for mad long and on mute like I thought I was, because I was like actually just answering David Glenn's question about the ZFS, and I hope to God I didn't just talk into a muted microphone. And then I answered what distro I was using, which was Ubuntu 18.04, a Debian distro, and I like Debian Linux distributions because they have the apt package manager, which makes it pretty easy to install apps. You know, it's widely used at this point, and it's like just pretty darn straightforward, you know, to use the so-called apt package manager. But beyond that, I hope I wasn't on mute when I did the whole explanation of how ZFS works.
I have two 4TB SSD and one 2TB M.2 in my PC.
That's a nice combination, especially the two, you know, SSDs in there. Like, I thought about like doing. I think SSDs are so reliable that you don't need to mirror them. So I probably wouldn't. But what I would do if I was OCD is maintain backups of my one. I should be doing that. I'm supposed to be backing up my 1 terabyte SSD, because I mean, look, it's like if you have a 8 terabyte or 16 terabyte volume, it's pretty easy to maintain a constant backup of a 1 terabyte, you know, SSD. You know, it's much smaller anyway. And so right now my desktop at least is using it's got a couple of 8 terabyte drives in there. Oh, it's got 4 8 terabyte drives, but I have 16 terabytes of usable capacity across 4 drives. That's the RAID. So that one on my desktop, I'm using RAID 10, which is a combination of RAID 1 and 0. But I have 2 1 terabyte SSDs, and frankly, I want to eliminate one, because what happens is on modern motherboards is when you put a second SSD, a second M.2 SSD on the motherboard, on some motherboards, on many of them, it eliminates one of the PCIe slots. So essentially, it's like you can either put a second SSD in the motherboard, or you have one more PCI Express slot available. So if you know, I already got like a Elgato, got my graphics card in there. If I wanted to put in another peripheral, things start to get very tight, you know, and there's almost no extra slots available, especially when I put a second GPU in. So yeah, I would like to get like a 4 terabyte SSD as my boot volume, and then get rid of that second 1 terabyte SSD. But you got me thinking, 2 4 terabyte SSDs could be nice too.
So how's chat so far?
Yeah, chat, how you doing? Thanks, Dave.
Yeah, she's around. She's been busy.
Oh yeah, I think Punk Waddle is on with Floral at 9 o'clock. What's his name? Floral from Under a Rock, the puppet guy. And last week I missed Punk Waddle's show. Well, it's not his show, just that I do interviews. I like Punk Waddle. He's a cool dude. But I mean, Floral was a cool dude too. Wilton's an asshole. Wilton the troll. He's an ass man. That guy. I love hating Wilton. And if you ever met Wilton, he's like big yellow puppet with some snaggle, two fangs coming out. He's got patches of hair in random places. Like, he doesn't even have normal hair. Like, Wilton will have like a patch of hair on his wrist, then a random patch of hair on one side of his chest, and a random patch of hair somewhere else. It's just completely uneven. And he's got this big, like, I wouldn't call it a mullet. It's more like a mane of hair. And he talks with a funny lisp. And apparently the way you talk like Wilton is you got to put your tongue between your teeth while speaking, and then everything you say, like if you're saying the word show, it would sound like so, because the sh sound gets lost. It's like, let's watch a show, and if I do it, it'll sound like I'm mocking myself, so I'm not going to imitate Wilton right now. Well, Glenn, you know who Wilton is, yeah. And you got Floral is cool. He's a green furry guy. He kind of looks larger than the other puppets, and he sits behind a talk show desk like Johnny Carson or Dave Letterman or something. And so, if you ever go on his show, and I wonder if he'd have you on, Tron. If you want, I'll ask him. I'll talk to you later about that. See if we can maybe put out a word on it, put out some feelers, see if they'd be interested. But if you ever on his show, it's like the first part of the show is like Johnny Carson, talk show interview. And then they go into like some game, or like at some point Wilton comes on. Wilton's an asshole. So it's like, I think, comedically, he's not really an asshole. He's a troll. He's a puppet troll, and so he does some comedy there, some slapstick. And then after that, they sometimes will put on a group game. They'll play like one of those like online, web browser games with like the Wheel of Fortune, or the word puzzle game. I'm trying to remember. How was it called? Kahoot. Yeah, they play Kahoot. If you haven't played that before. And other times they change it up, but they have usually have a lady named Mrs. Flu, and she's like a floating virion. Like she looks like a little flu virus, but with a puppet face. Quite adorable, actually. In fact, she recently did her hair, and it's like all fluffy. Apparently, Mrs. Flu is going to be doing some 80s exercise videos soon. That should be interesting. Let's see what we got here. Love a good mullet, low magic in the mullet, and someday Mexican Iron Man will put El Perro behind bars. Will he now? I don't know, man. El Perro is quite elusive. And when did Mexican Iron Man become a freaking deputy? Then again, he's Mexican Iron Man, so I mean, like, I don't think you can compete with a hydraulically assisted motorized power armor, or whatever the heck it is. It is just a dog, right? I think what will happen is Mexican Iron Man will strangle El Perro at some future event, like during one of the meetups. So yeah, you got the usual suspects: Floral, Wilton, which of course, they're never on at the same time. For some reason, Floral and Wilton are never on at the same time. Who else? We got, of course, Punkwaddle. He looks like a football, but he's very penguin-like. Just that he's shaped like a football, which I always worry that someone's gonna pick him up and try to do like a kickoff with him, and he's gonna be like, I feel bad. And then who's the other guy? Well, like Mrs. Flu. Sometimes Mr. Flu comes on, but he's usually more like computer-generated character, Toxic Man Flu. Sometimes he'll come on as the toilet. I forget what his name is, but Toxic Man Flu has a CGI version, or a VTuber persona of a virus. Then he also has a VTuber persona of a toilet that talks, and I love it because I always wanted like a talking toilet. The cartoon image of like a toilet seat that has like the lid opening and closing while it's talking, it resonates with me for some reason. And so he has that, and sometimes he'll play like toilet sounds to go with the theme. And of course, Punkwaddle has his own channel now too. I think it's called Punkwaddle, but he also calls it the Ice House because he lives in an ice house with his pet, I think he's got a pet named Cubert, who's an ice cube. And he did one interview. Punkwaddle did one interview with Nerdporio Lifeform, I think, and that was cool. It was like, instead of doing it live, they did it as like an edited thing. So he was able to polish it up.
Speaking of VTubers, give me a few minutes.
Word. You got it. I looked into getting a VTuber working for myself too, but that was hard. Not hard really, just that no pre-configured app where you can just swap out the VTubers easily. Oh, that's cool. Unless great, maybe I know I have to talk to Tron about this. Apparently, he can tell me how to do this. But the big thing was getting a PNG VTuber, they call it, where it's a graphic, it's not 3D like this one at all. Was easier, but the one that Magic Tech Mags uses and I think Mr. Tickle Trunk works through Discord. So you have to have it run through a Discord voice channel, and that actuates the PNG VTuber and whatnot and some of the interactions. And then this one here reminds me of the one that Lofty Pixels uses, and his I think he has head tracking hooked up to his shit. So that's pretty cool, Tron, by the way. That's a nice one. I mean, I don't know how it works. I don't know if it scares the mouse headband that you wear or something like that. But yeah, I would love to get a working. And I think usually at some point, most people have to shell out a few bucks and pay somebody to just make them a model. And I'm fine with that. I just want to understand. I want a basic model. I want to learn how to swap the model out with another generic download. In fact, yeah, so I went to one of those 3D download websites, and oh my god, it was miserable because of course most of the models aren't necessarily there for VTubing anyway. And it's I just want to download something that I can immediately import into an app and use. But that was not as easy as I would hope it was. Yeah, I mean, look, I imagine David Glenn, Toxic Man Flu appears to have a pretty sweet setup. I mean, what he's doing works, the way he does it works, I mean, luckily, me and Tron, we got our, stream decks. We can, do sounds. I started using the app recently, Tron. That was pretty cool because I remember I bought a stream deck, but then Tron told me about the app. And it was really useful because when I'm playing video games in my bed, I sometimes still want to record the gameplay for a future upload. So I'm able to control the stream deck from my bed, or control the computer, control OBS from my bed without, being at my desk, because I can just, and the Stream Deck app has the same layout as my Stream Deck. So when I open it up on my phone, it's the same layout as the real Stream Deck I have. So it's I like it a lot. And I was thinking maybe I'll get like get one of my old tablets up and running, and if I can install the Stream Deck app on an old ass tablet.
I have 2 webcams. I use the other program for my VTuber avatar.
Interesting. Very okay. That makes some sense now. And I do have 2 cameras, so theoretically I could probably rig my second camera for that whenever I'm not using it on my desk. My desk down camera, the one I point down at my desk with. But that's cool. Okay. Yeah, I might ask you some questions. I might just ask some basic questions like, where to begin, what software do you recommend, something. It's like, like you Google it, you get there's some good tutorials out there, but like there's apparently like multiple ways to do this, and like it's pretty easy for me to get lost in the sea of options. On the sidelines, I want to be a cartoon now. Yeah, I tried beating up on the tech, David Glenn. I tried beating up on that tech, and it made my head hurt. Yeah, just like Starship Troopers. Would you like to know more? We gotta get some like generic video graphics together like that. I'm an idea machine. I can think of ideas, and sometimes I'm sitting at my desk and I'm like, what idea do I want to implement today? And I can't remember. Maybe I should like write a list, maintain a list. Yeah, but luckily these days I'm much better at coming up with ideas that I'm actually able to implement. When I was like younger, I used to come up with ideas that were like impossible. It's like when someone gets stoned and they can think of making a music video, but then realistically it's like you can't do half the stuff that comes across a stoned person's mind. Of course, that's the nature of being stoned, I guess. But anyway, these days like I come up with ideas, and a lot of times that I could actually implement them, and so that's kind of cool. Oh my god, I'm so famished. I ate so late today, and it's just like I have to pace myself as I eat. So, I've been reading the audio and whatnot, at least whenever I remember, so that I'm not making eating, utensils. But my god, yeah, I needed to eat, man. Oh, marron. David Glenn can smell Canada burning. Smells like a paper fly. I got something to add after Tron speaks. I don't want to, change the topic or anything like that. But I think Tron's typing a message, which is kind of cool. I like that we can see the keyboard in action. That's fun and helpful. It's good to see. But now the Canadian wildfire. I still haven't uploaded my video about it, and I took some pictures. Like I didn't go out during the peak of it because I didn't know it was peaking until after the peak was over. Well, at least I think I was off from work on Wednesday, the day after. So, like, I didn't see what I saw. But, like, when I got out of work on a Tuesday, immediately I could say, oh, it smells like it. The sky had a slight orange tinge to it. So I took some videos and pictures at the bus stop in Manhattan. And I made a point of doing my best to match the white balance on the camera. Like I was like really trying to make sure that the camera's manual video mode would correctly represent the white balance. Because it's very easy for somebody to purposely or allow the camera to exaggerate, because it's very easy to not pay attention to the color temperature. And a warmer color temperature tends to be more red or more orangey. A cool color temperature tends to be more bluey. And so I made a point of faithfully reproducing, the color. And then when I went into editing, I did, I made similar efforts to report accurately. Like if I made any adjustment or something, I would indicate like where an adjustment was made or something. So I got to upload that video. At this point, the update would indicate that the wildfire smoke stopped coming, because it has. Like the only thing I can say is that it's been raining a lot. sometimes smoke particles and things like that can contribute to weather patterns, but it's not really hasn't really been an issue. The weather itself has been an issue for doing astronomy, but the air quality was fine within like the day or two after that. It was fine. Sure, it smelled like a little smoky for like a couple of days after, but like it wasn't like a big deal. I remember my niece, my cousin, she was like, "Oh, Uncle Larry," my dad, don't open the windows. The smoke is bad. And we're like, yeah, chill out. Like it can't be any worse than having the air in the car, and it wasn't even that bad. And I feel bad for people who think you got to wear a mask again, like while they're outside. That kind of sucks to do, So, I mean, sucks for them. But, yeah, no, it hasn't been bad. Now, one thing I saw was like these conspiracy theory videos where people like in Pennsylvania were claiming that they know what wood fire smells like. And they're saying that this doesn't smell like wood fire. It smells like burning plastic. So some people are trying to insinuate that, like, oh, maybe these fires were started artificially, which I don't quite. I mean, it's possible, but like they were adding some. It's one thing to say that an arson was involved. It's another thing to say that like there's a bigger plot with chemicals. But one interesting thing I heard was in some cases the natural fire smoke, the wood fire smoke, when it goes to like a higher altitude in the stratosphere, or whatever, the atmosphere, whatever. The UV rays at that altitude break it down into like different type of molecules that are more like that do smell like plastic apparently, or that are carcinogenic. So maybe that's something that happens if someone lives further south than New York. I don't know. And the only thing that one of the people who said this or claimed this plastic smell was occurring was in Pennsylvania, which Pennsylvania is more like west of my position. It's not really south, it's just west. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what to make of that. So just thought I'd add to that. But right now I can just say what I know. I took some pictures. It didn't look that bad. I skipped a day, so I can't say whether or not it looked better or worse on the day that I wasn't paying attention. But I can say the days that I saw it, it was like, significant, but it didn't last that long. And last time this happened was many years ago. Sometimes wildfires in California would do this to us in New York, but it's not usually as bad. Essentially, the smoke goes up into the jet stream, and then it'll come back down on the East Coast. And so on one or two occasions, I smelled like wildfire smoke that supposedly came all the way from California. Most of the time, that's not how it works. Most of the time when you do witness wildfire smoke from California in New York, it'll be at a higher altitude, and I'll usually notice it when it messes up my astronomy. Let's see, northern Minnesota, I say, yeah, close enough to get the smoke for sure, But Glenn, so it's still technically burning. It's not even a reference to weeks ago. It's like the Canadian wildfire smoke is so like 4 weeks ago to me. You know what I mean? Like that was like weeks ago, like longer, I think now. And apparently, like it's still. I mean, they never stopped burning, right? Trudeau is too busy pushing whatever agenda he's pushing to get some firefighters. I mean, they just want to blame it on the climate, right? Like, all of you, turn off your air conditioners now, because you're the reason why we have the wildfire smoke, okay? So you got to turn off your air conditioners, sweat your balls off, and don't worry, the politicians will fix this climate crisis, but they have to keep using their big trucks and beautiful mansions because, they bought carbon credits, so it's okay. They offset there. Anyway, it shouldn't be. Let me get off the soapbox. I apologize. But jokes aside, one thing I wish there was a more nuanced discussion on the climate. Is like I'm open-minded to the idea of human activity affecting the climate. I just don't like the drastic changes being proposed when they don't actually seem to have the ability to fix the problem that they claim is occurring. So it's like you're claiming this is the problem, then you're proposing a solution that won't actually solve the problem. And then you got a group of people who are getting elected into office on this platform while living lavish lifestyles. And this is all just like their actions are incongruent with their words, which is typical politicians, I guess. But and then there's people who I don't want to say they're useful idiots. They're well-meaning individuals, right? Or on the left. So, they mean well. They genuinely believe this is a big danger. and they're trying to do good, but unfortunately they kind of gotten passionate about a cause that they don't truly understand. And then on the right side of the fence, a lot of people fall into the false dichotomy of arguing, like, is climate change real or not real? And even if it's like total bullshit, the problem is that, like, if you get into an argument with somebody who's a firm zealot on the left about climate change, you're not going to get very far, trying to convince them that this isn't real, but there are ways, and that's the thing, like, I try to find that middle ground, and of course, sometimes, like, if I'm talking to my boomer age pops, he'll be like, we can't budge. I was like, I'm not saying budge, I'm saying find middle ground long enough to have a conversation with somebody, because then just maybe, the kindness will win them over in time, it's like, this is the long game, but right now, I think the big strategy is divide and conquer. And you divide the people, and then it's much easier to get away with BS. Yeah, so you got that problem down here along Cancer Alley, all political reasons. Yep. Yeah, good question, David Glenn. I want to know what Cancer Alley is too. I can guess what it is, but I don't want to guess. Let's see. Yep. Along the MS River. Oh, okay. Got you. Along the Microsoft River. Not kidding. Minnesota, I'm guessing. Yeah, I mean, there's people, they live like Washington State. They have the so-called Hanford site. Essentially, they had like tons of Manhattan Project era nuclear waste being dumped in this part of Washington State, I think it was, and they had these like tanks full of like radioactive sludge that they buried in the ground for like years, thinking, oh, it'll be fine, just bury the tanks. But then they started realizing, oh, if the tanks are rusting and leaking, it could go into the Columbia River, so they had to start making like a big cleanup project out of that. I'm glad you mentioned that, petrochemical plants. So interestingly, like, when we talk about petrochemicals or petroleum industries and whatnot, most people, especially when they're politically divided, will focus on carbon output. And yet, there's things that people could make more valid complaints about. Like, okay, well, are there other chemical outputs when you're refining things? Are there waste byproducts? Sulfur in the atmosphere, and like, environmentalists can sometimes be super annoying because they put things to a grinding halt, but it's okay to have a conversation about these real things, like, if the water is creating an uptick, a statistically measurable amount of cancer increase, a statistically meaningful amount of increase in cancer rates, then this is a valid conversation to have. Sound check. One moment, please. Let me know if my audio starts to work. 1, 2. 2. There we go. I think I fixed it. Sound check. 1, 2. There we go. Thank you for your patience. So yeah, I forgot what I was saying, but the battery on my Galaxy Note 8 died, so I switched over to my Galaxy Fold. But yeah, so petrochemicals. Yeah, we talk about the outputs from carbon emissions and whatnot, and it's like, well, just producing petrochemicals have other outputs that we could be discussing that have real effects. And like you say, you have a river, and people near a river have a statistically significant increase in cancer rates. That's a valid conversation to be had, and that's what I was saying before my battery went kaput. Cancer Alley, just 85 miles, accounts for 25% of all of the petrochemicals in the U.S. Mind-blowing. I had to guess the rest of that because it disappeared from the screen as I was reading it. So kudos to me for having some memory.
Hello, hello, hello. Look, I wanted to come.
Yo, what up?
Hi. I wanted to come because I had to apologize. Last night, Tron was on my channel. We love him.
We can see you, Bella V.
It's
no
nice.
Audio yet, but same thing happened to me when I joined on my phone. I had to hit the 3 dot button next to the camera and switch to speakerphone, I think, on my device. But yeah, when I first joined, I did not have audio either. Of course, first check the mute button, bottom left corner. First circle next to camera, it'll have like a microphone. If it has a red line going through it, then it's muted. If not, and you still don't have sound, if you're not muted and you still don't have sound, then I would click on the 3-dot button, which would be 2 buttons to the right of the microphone mute button, or 1 button to the left of the leave button, which, is basically it's the 3rd button on the bottom left corner. And what I had to do is I had to click on that 3rd button on the bottom left corner, and then on the bottom of it, it said extra camera, local video, or settings. So I clicked on settings from that 3-dot menu. Then I clicked on
Can
audio.
you hear me now?
And then I finagled it. I wonder if I can share my screen.
You can't hear me?
Got you.
Can you hear me?
I can see you. No sound.
Yes.
Yeah, just picture, no sound. Yeah, so like to fix
Yes.
that, when I joined, at least, I mean, there's a couple of different ways to do it, but I'm guessing because when I joined, I didn't have sound either. So first thing I always check is if I'm muted. So on the bottom left corner of the web page, if the microphone button has a red line going through it, then we know we're muted.
Okay.
But if there's no red line, if the microphone button is white, then that means that it's not muted. In which case, the next thing I would do is I would follow from the microphone button. There should be a picture of a camera next to it. Then next to the camera button is 3 dots. Yeah, so now this is where it's going to get fun. When you click on the 3 dots, you're going to get like a little menu on the bottom of your screen. And the 3rd button on that menu is going to say settings.
Well, I can hear you.
It's going to be like very faint, like white lettering. It's going to be the word menu and then got the word settings.
Him that you could hear me.
And then once we're in there, we would go to audio and try to just literally switch things around and see if the green bar starts moving. Because basically when you go to settings and then you go to audio, which I think it says audio, it literally just says audio. Yeah, literally just says audio. I hear something.
Now!
Oh, wait, I hear something. Yeah, you got progress. So what I'm doing is helping. So basically I play with those settings until I get like a desirable outcome. And what my goal is to see like my green bar moving, to like at least halfway up, about halfway up, give or take. And so usually I think on that pull down menu it would say like microphone, speakerphone, earpiece, or some crap like that. I usually like to pick speakerphone, but it's a matter of what works for you.
Okay, how is this now, guys?
Yeah, we got you. You're very faint right now, but we do have sound.
Okay.
Yes.
Wait, you can hear it perfectly? David Klein says he can hear you perfectly. Out of sync. Okay, out of sync is fine. But if you can hear perfectly, that's what matters. That's the track you hear. The customer is always right.
I'm going to see.
My audio is a little low, but it could be something on my end too. In fact, maybe wait. Oh God, Tron, I might have been speaking over you multiple times. I think my audio is effed up too, bro. I'm so sorry. Okay, Tron. Oh, okay, I gotta fix something on my end now too. I got echoes now. So I might have had my audio so low that I haven't heard a word Tron said to me in the past like 5 minutes. So I just want to apologize, Tron, for not noticing you speaking for like 5 minutes. And it looks like your audio is good now. I think I'm just it's how do they say? It's me, not you. No, but jokes aside, I gotta fix my audio. I'm sorry. Apparently my microphone works. My speaker is.
Wait. I came just to apologize because yesterday we were laughing so much a great game and idea, and I promised Tron I'm not going to do it tonight, but we'll still do it on your show. We'll do it next Wednesday. I spoke with Crazy Brat got stuck late at work. Listen, it's not going to be fun. I mean, it could be. You know what I asked Tron? I texted him. I don't know, DJ, if you could have it already. I said, because I want to be a dildo. And a dildo. And he texted me back and he said, just as long as it's in the TOS rules or regulations. No, that's what I'm asking you. I don't know, but I want, does it put my hair like this maybe? But where I spoke with Crazy Brat, I spoke with Lacey. She got run up with the kids. Work. We have Crazy Brat coming home from, so it just didn't work. And I want to apologize. We're definitely going to do it Wednesday, and we're going to make sure everybody's prepared. And it was my confusion. I thought we were streaming together. I didn't come here like this. Come on, Tron. Know me for a while now, Tron. You know me, sweetheart. I don't have anything. I'm trying, okay? This old lady here is trying. Just love to smile on your face. Now, did we lose DJ? But he couldn't hear me. Now,
he didn't lose me. I just figured I'd be quiet. I apologize. I think I was speaking over everybody when I had my volume down. So I think I'd give everyone a chance to talk.
No, you're good. Now you kind of sound funny. Now you kind of sound far away.
It's probably the whatchamacallit. Let me do something here. Yeah, so what happens is on this phone, in the middle of the video, I switched phones because my battery died, and on this phone, apparently when the volume is on loud, it causes an echo or something anyway, but I gotta play with that in my own time. But yeah, I can hear you guys loud and clear.
You listen to this all day, Tron? Wait on a second. You listen to DJ? DJ's funny. I like him. Where's my, hold on.
Like right now, I'm trying to figure out how I can get my speaker to be louder without disrupting.
You have to talk a little bit louder.
Obviously, I can't participate in the chat if I can't hear of it. And for all I know, some of my recommendations earlier might have messed things up because I thought the sound wasn't working on our friend. But there we go. I think the sound is loud enough now so I can hear you.
Is he still talking, Tron? Come on. I never heard somebody talk so much in my life. You know what, DJ? They say that about me. They say I talk too much. And I say, nope, I disagree. Me?
Tell me about it. You can't get this guy. You can't get this guy to stop speaking.
Come on, DJ.
It's echoing through Bell's things. It was fine earlier.
Oh, okay. Okay, hold on.
Yeah, I don't know if I hope my suggestions before didn't mess up the audio settings, but I know usually when you have the microphone,
How is it now?
Basically, whenever I speak, it echoes back to your microphone. You're on your phone, right?
I'm on my iPad.
Okay.
You can hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. I think what's happening is whenever your speaker makes sound, it's coming back through your microphone somehow. Do you have the echo cancellation turned on? We can try the same settings as before. So in the settings menu, go to the three dot button, go to audio.
Oh, here we go. Okay,
that sounded better, I think.
Oh my goodness, we did it.
Yeah, you can hear me too, and I can hear you.
Yes, we can hear each other. Tron, we did it. Holy shit. I can't believe we did this. This is great.
Good work.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Yes. and now I can hear you beautiful.
And I can hear you too. Yeah, no, I mean, this is perfect.
Thank you. It's so you're
Awesome.
It's funny because awesome. Yeah. It looks like dope. You DJ's on the phone. Did we ever meet?
I don't know. My name is DJ Ronnie G, and I usually show up in the chat as DJ Ronnie G. But I was eating my lunch, and so I didn't want to I wasn't on my computer yet, so I figured I'd just use the name DJ on my phone. But then what happened was the battery died on my other phone, so I had to switch to my other phone, and that's why now I'm DJ's other phone.
Wow, it's like DJ's other phone's phone. Slice your you know what I'm saying?
Yo, for me.
I love it, right? That's what it should be. That's what it sounds like. DJ.
And I do like I got a channel too, like Tron. My channel is a little quieter, but sometimes I do tech content, sometimes I do sci-fi stuff. I try to mix it up when I'm bored.
Wait a minute, you say you're quiet? They're lying to you. They are. Don't listen to a word.
That depends. Like, my channel is quiet in that I can go weeks without new content, and then out of nowhere I'll have a few new videos, or like if I don't upload for a while, I'll do a live stream. Like I'll try to do one once a week, and sometimes I don't find time to do a live stream, and I'll end up doing it at like 2 a.m. And surprisingly, people tune in. Like not a lot, but like I'm surprised anybody's up to tune in at like 2, 3 a.m. One time, I got into a conversation with a guy in Argentina and a guy named Spock at 5 a.m.
Listen, there's a lot of freaks out like you, and you meet each other, and you get together, and it's great. So there's a lot of people out, and at that time are awake or inside. Just you'll have great people that you'll actually find. I mean, you don't meet them and really know them. You know what I'm saying? I think it's wonderful, but I think you would be going like that. Oh, I gotta plug in. You have so much energy. How did you?
I don't have a lot of. I met Tron at a Star Trek convention. No, I'm kidding. I met Tron through Echo Base Network. Yeah, Echo Base Network or EBN. They're like a big Star Wars or a pretty big Star Wars YouTube channel. And I didn't personally meet Tron at first. He would appear on when they would have pop-ins where they let members of the channel join in on their live streams. And I was always envious of his graphics, so I kept an eye on Tron because I'm envious of his cool graphics. And anyway, doing that, like we got like a network of people who get along and stuff. So the people who do run the Echo Base Network channel. Basically, I didn't even know about EBN only because of Mexican Iron Man. If you ever met Mexican Iron Man, Loki's Mornings of Mischief has a morning show at 9 a.m. every day.
Silence. Users, Tron is trying to speak.
Bell. I am connected to a few other communities. Mostly Star Wars family.
Okay. All
Well
right.
said. He said it way more succinctly than I said it, but that's absolutely correct. And like that's the thing, though.
If I had two of these, I'd be Princess Leia right now.
No, seriously.
Star Wars. Wait, isn't Princess Leia from Star Wars?
Yeah, you got it. No, you're right. You just need one more. You just need to have the muffins on the opposite sides. Like you said, you need like some headphones up on the side of your head, and you're good.
Oh my goodness, that's what I think I have to do, Tron. I'm gonna be. That's it. Next Wednesday, I'm coming. I'm gonna have that, and I'm gonna put the. I promise. Yes. All right, I could do this. Okay, reasons for a reason. It's gonna be even better, Tron. Woohoo! Everybody has a character. That is fantastic. Would you like that? You think that's a great character?
Sure, why not?
Princess Leia, though. You're Chewbacca. other phone from another mother's phone. Okay. Chewbacca
I wish I had some.
from Star Wars, right?
Yeah. I could be an Ewok. I could dress like an Ewok. I just don't have to shave. I just shave for I don't shave for like half a week. I'll skip a shower. I won't do my hair, and then I'll be an Ewok.
All right, he's an Ewok, Tron. You have to figure out when he's feeling. If we seen his face, he'd look like a baby Ewok. A very cute. We like Ewok. Yep. I love it. Now, I can't believe it looks like this side of my head is sticking out. I don't know why. I think it's the way the lights hit. Looking okay? See my bald spot? Okay. I'm so happy, guys. I adore you. Tron, everybody sends their love. We definitely are doing Star Wars, okay? So next Wednesday, 7 people forgive me, and all of us, and I'm gonna make sure we all have our shits in DJ. You better come as Ewok. I'm coming as Princess Leia. As a special. Maybe you're just a spaceship, Tron. You could just be this cat carries us all, right?
He could be an R2. He could be R2D2.
R2D2, but I don't know. He's bigger than that. He got a bigger personality. I love
Yeah,
it.
true.
R2D2. Listen, homegrown could be R2D2 maybe. I don't know whose friends would definitely. Well, all right on the sidelines. Cinnamon buns would. Look, I think on the sidelines is trying to pick me up. He's talking about my cinnamon. He wants to taste some cinnamon, Tron and DJ. Buns. Oh my God. You guys, it just doesn't take me anywhere. Right? Nowhere.
I'll bring my turtle, and she could be Yoda.
He has a turtle.
Oh yeah, you missed it, dude. We had Belle. We had my turtle was on in the beginning of this, or not the beginning, but like a half hour ago or something like that. Before I was eating my lunch dinner, I went down to feed my turtles, and so I put them on camera since I was on my phone, and we spent a few minutes hanging out with the turtles. Yeah, there's two. I got male and female. Actually, no, they're both female, I think. Poppy is the first one, and the second one is Squirtle. And I adopted them both. They were born with that name. Not born, but I adopted them with their names. I didn't rename them. When I adopted them, I kept their names.
Rename them.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I did rename my tortoise. Yeah, I did rename my tortoise. My tortoise's name is Londo, but I only renamed him because his original name was Mr. Turtle, and I'm like, I'm not going to call him Mr. Turtle. But anyway, the aquatic turtle is green, or they kind of look green, so I feel like they would do a pretty good Yoda.
Yeah. Tron, right? Poor TJ. We love you, TJ. You're so cute. See your turtles next time.
Oh yeah, like I said, we'll dress one up.
And you could oh yeah, so okay, so again, I love you. I adore you, DJ. Adore you, love you. Like, you're cracking me up. How much longer are you going to be on?
However long Tron is on.
I hope you have a wonderful night. Sleep well. And
thank you.
DJ, you have to be here next Wednesday.
All right, I'll set my calendar. I really will. I'll set my calendar, and I'm sure Tron will send me a message on Discord, so he'll remind me, or at least he'll notify me.
Mama with her cinnamon buns. Okay, sounds like Tron will have all the love on the sidelines. He's going to be surrounded by all the ladies, okay? And you know what? Even DJ, but DJ will just be talking about his turtle. Tron's, because DJ will be in Turtle Land, and he won't even pay attention to us gals. Tron,
that's basically what it was. That was the first half hour of me being on.
He doesn't care. You're so cute. Oh my goodness. No, next time.
No,
Okay.
but it's very nice meeting you too, Penelope, and I look forward to next week if we're all on.
Absolutely, my love. We're definitely going to be on. Okay. Tron, have a wonderful night. And DJ, I could only give you one kiss because, you know, I don't want Tron to, especially because I'm going to put my Cinnabons on for
Hey,
him.
Belle.
But,
It's understandable.
you telling me to fuck off, you said? It was
No,
like
he
2
said,
words.
he said, "Hey, gal." He said it in his suave British accent too.
Oh my goodness! Tron!
I know, right?
Oh my goodness! Oh, look, gonna leave, and you know what he did? This is what he puts on, and he knows that I'm gonna be like, oh no, you are so cute. Look at that little face. I need one, right? A little bell and a Tron, a little Tron. Aw, that is
No, it's really
so
cool though.
Isn't it? DJ,
No, that's what I'm talking about. I'm envious. He got a cool gravity. He's got a cool VTuber persona.
Tron he knows his way to my heart. Just get a couple of cinnamon buns. Oh my God. I know, we got to get a rope with that cute little thing. That'll be great to see. Tron, that just, it's a baby Tron. All right, guys, have a wonderful night. Next week,
Thanks.
Tron, I'm sure I'll see you before them. And DJ, you're welcome anytime. Have a wonderful.
Thanks so much.
All right, bye-bye.
See ya later.
Have a good one.
Absolutely.
She was all right. So am I really obligated to dress as a Wookiee Ewok? I mean, I guess I could just bring the turtle, right? And dress him. I'll dress the turtle up. I won't just put the turtle on camera again. Like, I will dress the turtle up like Yoda. I will put a rag around the turtle that looks something similar to whatever Yoda wears, which is not hard. I mean, he wears a freaking burlap canvas over his shoulder, from what I can figure. I mean, it's something. It's more like canvas or something. But, you know, I'll figure something out. And then we can, like, you know, dress him up, put the turtle in a robe, give him a little walking stick like Yoda, and just plop him there. And then we can just read some sentences backwards, like, a turtle, this is not. A while ago when I was on EBN, Coach mentioned, like I was telling him how much I love Star Wars Rogue Squadron for N64. Then he mentioned about Rogue Squadron 2. So I had a copy of it on my modded Wii, but it didn't really work properly. So I bought this one and got it in the mail today. So I look forward to trying this out, the GameCube version of Rogue Squadron 2. And I've heard great things about it. I look forward to trying that out. And I'm hoping I can copy it to my hard drive because I'd much rather have it stored on my Wii's hard drive as opposed to having to put the disc in whenever I want to play it. But that's not a big deal. I'm just glad I have a copy that should almost definitely work.
Alright everyone, that concludes tonight's Chillcast. I need to relax my back.
Word. Thanks for having us on. And thanks for the good time. And I just remember that we have memberships here, so that's kind of cool. I can actually hit the button here and do stuff, send a super duper chat or something like that. But I just want to test this out here. I don't even know if this works on my other phone. It does work. All right, good. Didn't even ask me for a password. All right. Yeah, but yeah, man, thanks for having us on. This was a good time, and I'm glad timing is perfect because now I get to tune in at 9 o'clock to Floral from Under a Rock. But in the meantime, the rest of you just put on a playlist on Tron channel and, watch that on your TV or something. But jokes aside, thank you very much, Tron.
See ya later tomorrow /